And hello everyone, it's my first podcast live on YouTube. It's gonna be live also on Anchor, Spotify, and all of these apps that you can listen to podcasts. Today we're gonna discuss a variety of training diversification and benefits of different disciplines. I'm joined today by Wojtek, my fellow calisthenics coach, my good friend. So please introduce yourself a little bit.
Thank you very much for having me today, Danny. Yes, I am. My name is Woj, or Wojtek, however you want to call me. I go by Woj Calisthenics. I have been coaching calisthenics for over 6 years now. I own Calisthenics Basingstoke Gym. I am part, just like Danny, part of United Kingdom Calisthenics Community and the UCG group. That's the one, baby. I've got obviously my logo here, and
yeah, show that booty.
Show that booty. Well, I mean, I gotta show my best attributes.
That's
why you can see my girlfriend in the background. Yeah. Would you like me to go a little bit more in depth on my background, or shall we move on to the topic of our podcast?
Tell as much as you want about yourself. Let the people know you.
Okay, well, I don't think we've got that much time available. So I think I'm gonna give you a little bit of a quick backstory. I've always been the worst at sports since like primary school. As soon as we started doing PE in school, we would play like ball sports, any athletic stuff. Absolutely, like it doesn't matter what you would put me into besides like running around like a fucking madman. I would always be like the worst in class, and my class wasn't like particularly super fit. I think it was all pretty average blokes. But yeah, I've found myself being really inadequate in terms of physical activity and physical abilities. And that pretty much stayed on with me until I was, I want to say, 17. I've always been a skinny little kid, and I've felt very intimidated by the idea of weight training and so on and so forth. So I've never actually gotten into physical training. I've once had, my brother gave me, a barbell with, I don't know, 10 kg plates on both sides, something like that. Like the bent barbell for bicep curls. Yeah. And I would pick it up every now and then, try to do several sets. Nothing really happened, because how far can you go on simple bicep curls? But things have changed quite drastically when I was already in college. I was 17, and me and my friends decided to do a challenge between us. To see who's like, we've been watching like Bar Brothers on YouTube, so some like other videos, all of the star like Hannibal for King, all of the like the OG gangsters of calisthenics and street workout community. We've watched some of these videos, we got crazy about it, and yeah, we started training. It was always fairly easy for me to do pull-ups because I weighed nothing. If I jump on scale, you'll see minus at the beginning. So that's I think that was always an easier way in for me, to rather than going straight for the weight training, because I felt like I was at disadvantage. And within 6 months, I've managed to get myself into level 8 out of 10 on the book called Convict Conditioning by Paul Wade. I actually had that book recommended by the coach. I had that book recommended to me from my brother, who happened to be in prison at the time as well, which was a pretty comedic timing.
It's sometimes cutting you out when you move a little bit further away from the microphone.
Okay. Well, I can do a little bit of a.
No, don't do that, because you're gonna blow my ears off. I don't know how loud is for the viewers. All right, continue. Yeah, your brother was in.
Yeah, my brother was in prison, and so he recommended me that book. He obviously called me up one day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been training with that. Maybe you should give this a go, and let's see how we get on by the time I get back out." And at the same time, I made a bet with friends from college that we're going to start doing pull-ups and some dips and push-ups and see which one of us is going to get the strongest by March. So we had this saying, see you in March. And within 6 months, as I said, I've pretty much almost completed the progressions in the book. And I got to like doing bar muscle up. Kipped once, but I managed to like get myself to do bar muscle ups. So that was probably one of the biggest achievements that I had. And yeah, pretty much everything changed since then. Not only did I progress with my physical abilities and strength, but also my self-confidence, my self-esteem. And I think the biggest takeaway from training was the fact that the realization that if I actually do get my head down, get into like a creative zone, or really focus and commit to something, I can actually get the results that I want. And no other area in life before gave me that. So it was a very empowering sensation to be like, you know what, maybe if I apply this same methodology of, if I know what the right things are to do, if I just do them regularly enough, maybe it will affect it. Maybe it'll make difference. And it does translate into other areas in life. That's how I've managed to build a fairly successful business in UK. Met people, like-minded people, and amazing, passionate people like yourself and other people from UCG. We had some amazing times before lockdown, like being able to see each other all like on a regular basis, like on a monthly basis. We've traveled a little bit around Europe. So yeah, it's been a very, very rewarding journey. It basically saved my life because I was in a really bad place. I've moved out when I was 17. I was doing some minor, not too dangerous drugs, but I was on the verge of dropping from college, which there was no need to be doing that. I'm not smart enough to be able to do without things like that. But I've managed. Like, calisthenics pretty much saved me and got my head straight. You can see Olivia heard this story like 20 times, so she seems so interested right now.
I heard it few times as well, but it's still always interesting because you always bring something that I might not heard before. You might remind yourself about something I didn't know about your brother in prison, for example. So yeah. It's always something new popping up. Absolutely. I think loads of us started similar way, that the sport or any discipline just save us from going downhill. That reminds me of me going into MMA. It was a lifesaver to redirect my anger for those reasons.
Yeah,
it's easier to punch a bag that doesn't hit back, and you don't have any how to say it, repercussions from it. Yes, exactly. All right, so subject for today is, as you see, right over here, discussing benefits of trying out different disciplines, training approaches, modalities, name it as you like. It's basically, I put it that way. Just try some shit, and you might learn something new that might be useful later in life. So first of all, for all you Ninja watchers, press a like and at least say hello in the comments or subscribe. I'll be very grateful. Second thing, if you don't follow me, here is my Instagram handle. And the one of Watch is right over here.
Yep.
So give us a follow. Give us a follow. Send me a DM that you came through YouTube or Facebook Live, and I'll give you follow back. All right, let's go back into the subject. So Wojtek, what disciplines you went through throughout your whole career?
Okay, so when I was in primary school for a year, like once or twice a week, my friends' parents would take us to a climbing center. And I think this was my first real exposure to any coached or like led training activity that I would partake in. So I would do occasionally I would do like a pull-up here and there. I was learning, just basic climbing techniques and stuff like that. We did had like a training coach, climbing coach, but it wasn't consistent enough for me to actually progress with that very much. And then my mother just one day just kind of decided that she's gonna not pay for it anymore. So I had a year exposure of just bouldering and doing a little bit of climbing, like lead climbing and so on and so forth. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know why I really stopped. I think it's just more of the circumstances. Then just before I started training calisthenics, I dabbled a tiny bit in parkour and in Muay Thai. Again, it was like a year venture of just me having all that teenage angst and anger in me and wanting to punch the shit out of everything, including myself. So me and my younger friend started doing Muay Thai. We had a wonderful coach who also was a ex-professional fighter in Muay Thai. So yeah, that definitely was a nice distraction to have, and it basically put me in like this training mental mind space of wanting to, you know, grow some balls and make something out of myself. Since then, obviously, I started doing pull-ups, and then pull-ups turned into muscle-ups, and muscle-ups turned into a lifestyle. Along the way, obviously, I've moved into UK in 2016, I want to say. And I carried on with calisthenics. And I want to say 3 years ago, I first joined Basic School of Martial Arts, where I started training under an amazing sensei called Kevin.
It carried out the name.
Kevin. So I started learning Taekwondo. I've seen so many compilations of like People Are Awesome martial arts compilations and tornado kicks.
They are wicked.
Yeah. It's like I've never seen anything like it. I just wanted to be one of those guys. I've always had, I don't know, this passion or this excitement about like Japanese culture. Obviously, I know Taekwondo is Korean, but we're just going to skip that part. I've always been interested in Asian martial arts, let's say. I've never had the exposure and the ability to do that, besides chasing around each other with my friend from primary school and beating each other out with sticks, thinking that we are samurais, but that was about it. I still have like scars all over my knuckles from getting hit with a stick. Yeah, it was fun times. So and since then, and since I've been running a gym for almost 4 years now. I've also, since our build, like the facility we've got, I'm sharing with Elite Bodyworks, which are a group of fantastic coaches, ranging from powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, strength and conditioning. I started also dabbling a little bit in Olympic weightlifting, just because I thought if I already have such a good background in calisthenics to a point that all the gymnastics elements feel like, very naturally for me. It's definitely something I'm pretty. This is the only thing that I'm competent with, quite frankly. I thought if I add Olympic weightlifting to it, I should be able to give CrossFit a run for their money. And this year I joined the CrossFit Open, and oh my God, what a fucking disaster. But I think we can talk about that a little bit later. How about you, Danny? How many things have you tried along the way?
So I started my whole fitness journey with MMA, which I mentioned before, which learned me a lot of discipline. I learned loads of discipline. I had great coaches that kept me going. If I missed the training session, I got the message like why you didn't come and stuff like that. So that was literally like a evolution in my mind. Like if someone cares, I'm gonna come back no matter what.
So building relationships along the way as well, or meaningful relationships.
And probably that's why I am the coach I am now, and I have such a very tight bond with my clients, because I've been told that from the people that were coaching me, and I've seen loads of benefits from that.
Someone gave a shit about you, so you give a shit about your clients now.
Of course.
Because it was such a big deal. Yeah.
What are the other things I started? So before I moved into calisthenics, right, there was this turning moment when I stopped MMA and stuff like that for like 2 years. 2 years I didn't train anything. So obviously I got fat and flabby playing the Heroes
Yeah.
of the Storm at that time. No, that was the Heroes of the Storm. That was and I decided one New Year's Eve party when I step on a scale and I seen for the first time 100. I decided like no. So I went back to the gym and I was like, okay, let's go about that weightlifting. So I started weightlifting for like, I don't know, a month. And I came across Chris Heria video with the guy about my size doing a muscle up. I was like, yeah, 6 months, I want to do that. So that's where
exactly
the journey started.
as well.
Yeah, literally 6 months, almost from zero, because I was struggling with the pull-ups at that time. But yeah,
Go figure.
it took me 6 months.
It's funny that you say that. Oh my god, I saw double digits on a scale, and I thought, okay, this has to end. Whereas
triple.
Well, I suppose triple digits on a scale. But since you started training and put on muscle mass, you've consistently been over 100 kg, haven't you? It's interesting how the mindset changes.
It's a different mass, right? Now I'm 100 kg of strength. Then I was 100 kg of chicken wings and hamburgers. Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with chicken wings.
Of course not. No less than 20. So after I got fairly good with calisthenics, and then I started focusing on it as well. I started my personal training career, and in the health club where I used to work in, I had a lot of guys that were doing, like you said before, Olympic weightlifting. So I got a little bit hooked up with it. They showed me how to perform stuff, and then I had some good cue points from a gentleman. I don't remember his handle now because that was ages ago. About my weightlifting, that literally made such a difference. So we have Olympic lifting. I've done powerlifting for few months, which was very beneficial, but we're gonna talk about it later. So I start focusing more on mobility. So I've done some mobility courses. I've done few programs as well regarding mobility just to learn. I've done some yoga with my friend as well. So yeah, I can bend sometimes if I focus on it. And now the recent one, I'm a stripper. Yeah, the pole dancing, which I didn't been for a week now because of the commitments I have to do. But I'm planning to go back on Saturday, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I've done 1 hour of personal training with someone learning to do pole dancing. So I consider myself someone of a pro. Yeah, it's interesting, when my observation is when you've been on the top of your game, there aren't many people who can match your abilities and your skill and strength in calisthenics or whatever this main discipline you've got. You think you've done it all now, like you've completed fitness. You are the shit. Like there is nothing that can surprise you anymore. And then it takes as little as between calisthenics and upper body strength and mobility and all that stuff that it entails, going to even thing that seems so similar like pole dance, you still get exposed to such a ego crushing experience.
Ooh. So my friend Nina, yeah.
Yep.
She was like, "Oh, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good." I was like, "Okay, I'm strong. I can deadlift 200 kg without using any gloves, straps, and stuff like this. So my grip is on point, right?" Mate, I had to take 3-minute rests in between. My forearms were on fire for 2 days, and only because you're gripping like this, not like that, not like this. or like this is this.
I think that's
Jesus,
that's
man.
ulnar deviation. So it's a different
Yeah.
engagement. Just a slightly different one.
And it's even if you do planches, yeah. Even if you do planches, where is the camera? So you do some sort of this, but it's a different because the pressure comes from the forearm, not from the top. So the resistance is applied differently. Oh, geez, no, that was a really eye opening as well. So the pole dancing opened my eyes on a lot of weaknesses I have.
Yeah,
And that's one of the reasons I'm gonna continue coming, because it keeps teaching me something that I might. It's not like I didn't know about, but I am more aware that they actually can benefit me if I'm gonna keep my focus on it.
Can I talk a little bit about my experience with pole dance?
Let's go.
So Tanya, one of my clients and a really good friend of mine, one day she brought her pole stage to the gym, and we fucked around a little bit after the session that I was teaching. We fucked around on it a little bit. We've recorded some videos. I've compiled it in like 5 minutes into some sort of a clip. I've put some music over it. I've uploaded it into Instagram, and just so it happened that algorithm was favoring this kind of stuff at the time, or whatever. It was just a stroke of like of
Instagram likes
luck.
strippers.
Literally, mate, because obviously all I had was shorts, and you don't really get that many male pole dancers. And obviously I had no exposure to pole dance before. I had 21,000 views on that video, like, which it wouldn't even cross my mind that that's what it's gonna end up happening. And yeah, I did pretty damn well. I was pretty happy with myself. I thought, yeah, I've nailed pole dance. As long as you don't make me do bendy stuff, I've got this. So, roll on, I think 2 years later, after this probably was my most successful Instagram post ever. I thought, you know what, I need a little bit of a broader, like I wanna try something else. May as well give pole dance a go, because seems I'm perfectly conditioned for it now, right? And I'm still really light. I've got really good strength. I've got all the grip. I technically, the way I train for the heaviest pole dancing elements, like the human flags, the Iron X, the shoulder mounts with full extension, all that stuff. I can hop myself all on my shoulder all the way up to the top of the bar, like I normally.
I'm too scared to try that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It is painful, but you can get used to it. But anyway, I thought
No, it's not about that. It's
breaking the pole.
The heavier they are, the harder they fall. Yeah.
Yeah, and the more likely you are to ruin someone's poles, someone pole station. Yeah, but anyway, mate, I was struggling. I needed to take additional breaks. All we did is, besides me doing my elements that I'm really comfortable with, like transitioning from a human flag into a shoulder mount, into like the reverse holds, into a pencil, and then like just basically adding a few transitions into it. I was in bits. I was struggling. I had like friction burns all over my insides of my thighs. And the following day, I felt like I had either a motorbike accident followed by someone approaching me with a steel rod and just beating the fuck out of me. That's how it felt. And yeah, I think it was one of the first times when I was like, oh shit. Just because, I've pretty much mastered calisthenics, I can do things that most of the calisthenics people couldn't even dream of doing. I fucking sucked at pole dance. Like, what the shit? I couldn't even do the simplest transitions. So yeah, I was like, oh damn, maybe you do have to do
it is difficult, because everything has to be so in the calisthenics you don't have so much stuff relying on timing.
Well, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. In there, you're spinning around. You have to position your forearm in the right place to do the fireman thingy, right? You have to press the shoulder blade forward to keep pressing. Stick your bum out so you keep spinning without losing this. So you need to use so much technique into it, and then move your legs around it and stuff like that. Like, oh, Ooh, but once you get it, it's getting more fluid because everything brings the momentum with it. So that's the good thing. So if when we start the class, for example, Nina will show some simple stuff in the beginning, then it goes transition, and they ending up going from up the pole all the way down to the first thing we learn. I'm like, I'm still stuck on the first one. But by the end of the end of the class, I do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so stubborn that I need to learn this one properly before I'm gonna start doing all the other stuff. Which is good.
It was a very humbling experience, and I just thought, okay, well, maybe it's just because I haven't had that much practice with pole dance, so I bought myself a pole dance station, and we've got one at the gym, and I fuck around on it every now and then. And basically, after I've kind of got used to, once I get used to the things that I already failed at, then I'm gonna probably come back for another PT session and try to further it then. But yeah, there is definitely. My perception was, because I maxed out my stats on calisthenics, I should be ready for anything life throws at me, or any other like discipline that comes my way. And I was like, okay, well, pole dance, just maybe it's all about coordination. Maybe I just need to, spend some time on it. But I've done other things, especially recently, doing the stupid CrossFit Open, and I cannot tell how way out of my depth it was. I still genuinely believe that calisthenics prepares you makes you more versatile than coming from just weightlifting. Like, I'm not talking about Olympic weightlifting for CrossFit, because it has a huge advantage to be able to do Olympic weightlifting. Like, we know, Matt Fraser being a professional Olympic weightlifter before he moved on to doing, cross shit. But as much as I'm a firm believer that calisthenics prepares you for anything, and it gives you bigger advantage because of the gross motor movements and the amount of compound exercises that calisthenics entail, it makes you more stable, it makes you more versatile, it makes you more bulletproof than just lifting dumbbells at the gym.
You literally in short bullet, it just teach you how to use your whole body together. That's how I would.
And as much as I believe calisthenics is a great foundation for any other sports discipline, fuck me. Like, I knew that. I've always said that. I've been saying it for years, knowing, going from my year experience of climbing, that me being a master at calisthenics makes me a very average climber from the get-go. Someone who haven't done calisthenics will be a beginner climber, but they can, get good at climbing, but by climbing. Whereas, just because I've mastered calisthenics doesn't really make me that much of a versatile athlete. And I realized that more and more.
That's something I also wanted to talk about, is like being like this tribal zealot that I'm doing this, so I'm not going to do anything because that is complete discipline that I can benefit from and develop like a overall good shape, which is partially true, but keeping yourself so close-minded and not trying stuff, it leaves you vulnerable to weaknesses that you might not necessarily be aware of.
I found myself stepping away from the orthodox approach towards training and calisthenics and just thinking, no, everything has to be done one way. There is no point of doing all the other crap. Like, initially I was like, this is pronated grip because you're doing pull-ups like a pro. This is supinated grip. You're doing your chin-ups like a super twat.
Fuck off. I'm doing lots of chin-ups recently.
So that was my approach, a few years back. And right now I realize that if you want to build both of the bicep heads and want to become a little bit more versatile and make sure you don't have bottlenecks or some weak links in your pulling motor strength, you need to do both, man. You need to do all of it. And it's been a all in all very humbling experience to realize that I'm stepping away further and further from being set in this zealot cool calisthenics cult mind frame. And I'm not saying that, oh, you know what, screw calisthenics, don't bother, just do anything else. If calisthenics is what you want to do, then there is no point of doing anything else in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's true. Fair.
Yeah, just doing calisthenics is not gonna, turn you into the world's fittest. Not trying to quote.
Oh, come on, let's talk calisthenics and legs, please.
Calisthenics and legs. So I think this is where it comes to, do you want to be a specialist, okay, or do you want to be versatile, or do you want to be able to, how wide and thin do you want to spread yourself, or how narrow and deep you want to go? But this narrow and deep leaves you exposed in other areas of fitness. So if you want to dabble with any other things, or you want to give, like myself, few years ago, give CrossFit a run for their money, just because I'm going to learn how to do both of those two elements, gymnastics and Olympic weightlifting, properly. If I do these two things, I'm going to smash it, completely ignoring the element of fatigue and endurance and, I don't know, just sheer masochism that involves that stuff. Yeah, I've been that. I think that was the biggest shock to my body and my mindset recently. But yeah, anyway, I feel like I digress. So calisthenics and legs. I think I've been around calisthenics industry and environment and communities, varied communities, between 17,000 people in street workout Poland and several hundred to a few thousand of people in UK. I think I've heard all of the opinions and all of the approaches when it comes to training legs in calisthenics. From a common sense point, if you're not a guy like Kura Workout, one of the top Polish athletes, who says, no, I'm not training legs because it's not part of my specialty, I don't need legs. I simply don't need legs. Fair enough, mate. Do you? Like, that's fine. And people will be taking the piss out of your legs. You'll just have to put up with it. But
for the average person, it's no, they are not a specialist. They are not intending to, be the top freestyle athlete in the world. Train fucking legs because it'll help. It does help. Do 20 squats with 60 kg. That's my example. With 60 kg before you start to handstands, back levers, front levers. You will see, how your core, how your quads, how your line looks better, because you have a better engagement and better stuff. The stronger these bad boys over here are, you can become more stable. Don't forget, it's a 50% of your body. Like, why would you skip it? If you're not
60 kg is 50%. Oh, you mean 50% as in ratios?
Yeah. Your legs are 50% of your body. Why would you skip it?
Yeah, I mean,
it can have a lot of benefits for you.
I mean, besides getting more engagement and getting the benefit of total body tension by getting the legs engaged and warmed up prior to, skill training, I feel like if you train legs, you obviously naturally, if you warm them up, they will be able to engage more, so they will benefit your total body tension. But at the same time, training legs increases, because they're big muscles and they're naturally pretty strong already, so you can capitalize on that. You increase the HGH production, so human growth hormone,
which will it's a 50% of your body.
Yeah, it'll directly correlate, and it'll give you the extra strength gains with it. So it seems counterintuitive not to be training legs. With all that said, I would just like to point out the hypocrisy of that statement, because we were in lockdown so much, and I've been streaming and working from this chair that looks like a bathtub. If I just tilt it down a little bit, I've obviously my lower body. Jacuzzi, yeah. My lower body has been really, really lazy. And on Monday, we did a first outdoor session, and Raf made us do 100 bodyweight squats towards 80, and 81st rep. Obviously, I did like 50, then a little bit of a rest, and then I kept going through with the rest. My quads just were like, nah, nah, you're done. And I couldn't fucking finish the 81st rep. It was hilarious. So if you're saying, oh, if you do 20 squats with 60 kg, your handstands are going to be better. I feel like if I did 20 squats right now with 60 kg, I don't think there would be a workout left in me. But yes, there is definitely benefit.
Siema, Szczepan.
Yep, there is definitely benefit of training legs, and I would, for your common folk or for my training clients or whoever, or if it's a person that first time steps into a gym environment, it seems very counterintuitive not to be training legs. Just fucking do it.
The other thing is about, yes, there is a lockdown. You spend most of your days like that, right? So you might think, oh, I have a tight hips. Why would I do more exercises to get even tighter hips? Like, yes, they are tight
because they're weak.
Weak.
That's it.
Unfortunately.
I think what you're touching on there is literally why all the people with sedentary lifestyle, I think that's the correct way of saying it.
Yeah.
Sedentary, yeah. They have weak hip flexors and they're shortened. They have shortened hammies, weak shortened hammies, and their glutes are constantly lengthened and disengaged. They end up putting a lot of pressure on their lower back, and they are in pain. So
that's the other thing that can benefit. So
yeah, literally build some leg, build some mobility as it comes with it. Obviously, if you do like split squats, lunges, whatever, it will help you.
Just normal squat. It's like how the guys that do. Let's put it that way. So we have a strength bodybuilders, for example. Yeah. Like a normal, not the zealots that chicken steroids and stuff like that. Yeah. The guys that actually train like a proper people, they have the mobility to have the hands all the way up. Why? Because of the constant doing military presses and stuff like that. They develop mobility by the strength training. So just by doing squats, you can fix it. You can fix your mobility problems as well.
As long as they prioritize form and full range of movement, because if they don't, they could further tighten it. Yes, if you
that's why I'm talking about the proper people that know what they are doing, not the Chad or James that goes and
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a James. I'm aware of a Chad. I haven't heard of a Jim James yet. Also, my associates and the guy who owns the facility that I run my business from, his name is James, and he might be watching this. So no, James, I love you. Please don't kick me out. We meant no insult.
But it's fine. I said it.
Yeah.
He cannot kick me out.
Well, we might not be able to invite you for the next meetup though.
It might be a problem. Coming from Poland just for the 1 day of training.
Oh shit, man! What are we gonna do about that?
Yeah, it is what it is.
I guess next meetup will have to be in Poland. I was planning to come this year anyway.
Yeah, come visit. I have loads of street workouts.
Slide off topic. Which city and which part of Poland are you in right now?
Szczecin.
That's up north. Yep. Is it west? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. I've got a friend in Gdańsk that I'll probably be visiting when I come, so I'll have an additional reason to be around you. Besides, obviously, me wanting to squeeze that booty.
Gdańsk is quite far away. It's like 4 hours by train.
What, from Szczecin?
Yeah.
God damn. Well, anyway, I'll be heading that direction anyway.
All right, so we partially because we, like I said, it's gonna be loose talk because I know we have a lot of stuff to say, both of us, and especially you always make a story long. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So most of the times most of the discussion is almost covered regarding benefits of a different discipline, but let's go through disciplines like Taekwondo. What are the benefits for the average person to do martial arts? Let's simplify that instead of going to the specific martial arts discipline.
I think the main aspect for your average Joe, if they take up Taekwondo, they will improve their cardiovascular health. I think the heart is going to be their main beneficiary of partaking in Taekwondo. I gotta say, with hand on my heart, Taekwondo was the only time that I actually enjoyed feeling like I'm, sweating my ass off and not, and dying, but still enjoying it. And I cannot say that about any other discipline like running, even though I used to run all the time as a kid, or CrossFit, or I don't know, some like you like to do 10,000 burpees. I think cardiovascular health, that's going to be your number one, and overall fitness. And I don't, when it comes to me personally, the knowledge that my legs being as strong as they are naturally, turning them into serious weapons and being able to wipe someone out with them, it's a pretty exciting idea to me. Because let's compare it to jiu-jitsu real quick, which Beijing School of Martial Arts also teaches. So you've got Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I think are very nice two ways of tying it together. In Jiu-Jitsu, yes, you have a huge advantage in grappling against single opponent. But what if it's a bar brawl and you get I don't know, surrounded by three guys? Yeah, you're gonna choke one out, but the rest is gonna beat the crap out of you. In Taekwondo, as long as you've got enough space, you have a higher chance of fighting your way out of that sticky situation. Which is, and obviously it's so like it looks so flashy. Like if someone got knocked out.
I have to disagree a little bit.
Ooh, bring it. But I gotta say, if someone
three people and Taekwondo, the only person that trains Taekwondo that I would scared of is Olympic champions.
I'm not sure, man. Obviously, I would.
I sparred with the guy that been on Olympics, and he was taking a kicks to my head from this distance to me.
yeah, just going whoop.
So I would be scared to get kicked by him. But average Taekwondo, I don't think you would just be jumped by the three people. So the first thing is only because I would just want to clarify, only because you're training martial art, that doesn't mean you're gonna be good at the street fight. That's the first thing. I tell you, one best solution is just run. Don't fight. Avoid the fight. Don't fight at all.
Okay, well, that is a very reasonable, common sense approach. Well done, Danny, for being a greater man. However, if you're a hothead like me and you don't miss out on the opportunity to have a bar brawl, I would like to see my best.
You would like to test your Taekwondo skills.
Absolutely. Even though I'm rusty as shit now after 2 lockdowns, it's been like a year since I've moved properly. But yes, and yeah, obviously someone who's a boxer or a kickboxer is probably going to have better spatial awareness and, slightly higher chances of using all of their limbs. And most people, if you lift your leg up and God forbid it gets caught, you are in a deep shit. And quite often you will, unless your coach is a little bit more aware in Taekwondo, there is no streetwise Taekwondo. Most of it is, your hands are here.
It's art. It's art.
There is a set rule there is a standard. There is set of rules. It's not a streetwise discipline. So yeah, if you don't know how to use your arms, you might struggle. But at the same time, if you can kick someone in the head and they didn't even see it coming, and yeah, in my case, my coach does make us learn how to punch properly and how to keep your guard up as well. So yeah, I would still like to take my chances.
All right, let's move out from the Taekwondo. Let's discuss more about all of these benefits of the martial
different
arts.
Disciplines.
So maybe I'm gonna chip in a little bit on the martial arts. So I believe that each man should be little, not necessarily to use it without no reason, but I think all men should be able to defend themselves. So that's one of the benefits, and plus it also, your confidence goes a little bit more up. when you
Yeah.
are able to, when you know you are able to defend yourself. Add to that a little bit more of the good approach with the confident talking, and you can make yourself out of the situation without even
Absolutely.
fighting.
Yeah. A skillful or experienced martial artist doesn't have to get in a fight to win one, and if
Yes,
only
exactly.
if he manages to get away without it.
That's well said, my friend.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's
Now,
if you I will allow myself to quote a thank you. I'll allow myself to quote a quote from Jordan Peterson, who happens to he deconstructed a term from Bible called something about meek men going to heaven because of the way they are. So the initial translation of a word meek was a man who carries a weapon like a sword, but keeps it sheathed, which is a perfect description of a experienced martial artist. They do have a weapon on them, but they are skilled enough not to have to use it, or confident enough not to have to use it, or wise enough not to use it. And that's what the initial or the true meaning of a meek man would be. And obviously, apparently, that's the way to go because it says so in the Bible. I'm not religious. It's just a fun fact. That
what was that? What was that? There's the other saying about the gardener in a war and a warrior in a garden.
Yeah, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're better to be prepared and not have to use it than not have it and be in the middle of the shit when it goes down.
Let's now. You mentioned jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is a perfect self-defense discipline for a woman.
Yes, because you don't need to use physical strength. You can use the strength of your opponent against them. And women are more mobile, so that puts them on a bigger advantage. And yeah, it's a pretty straightforward concept, to be fair. I'm not sure how biased I am, but yeah, it is definitely the chances of a woman to have a standoff with a guy and exchanging punches is not a good idea. Like, we are physically stronger, our punches are gonna be unmatchable. The ladies might be faster, but it's also
there's no weight with it, so that's the problem.
That's it.
And chokes are a lifesaver for a woman.
Absolutely, yeah.
If she managed to do it fast and agile, poke his eye in a process, so the guy is crying, you just lock the triangle. That's it. The guy is sleeping, and you run away. You're safe. Yeah, and most of the times, women is gonna be in a position where their legs are like this.
Yeah.
If that's the rapist. Okay, let's go. Other disciplines. Yoga. What do you think about yoga?
So one of my favorite calisthenics coaches, Lee Wade Turner, says, again, it's probably a quote from someone else, but he repeats it over and over. Flexibility without strength is imbalance or instability. Strength without mobility is rigidity. So balls. Yep, go for the balls, Claire. I think it's again, maybe it's not self-explanatory. Just being strong is gonna still not create enough versatility in everyday life. Just being flexible, obviously most people aren't flexible from the get-go, but I think having both is what anyone should aim at. I would say my biggest demonstration of mobility as much as strength is a hollow back. And as much as I'm not particularly bendy, I can put myself in a shape that you wouldn't expect from me, and that's partially because of me including certain yoga elements in my warm-ups. Like, I haven't actually ever attended a full-on structured guided yoga session because I would just nod off.
It is a little bit like that. I can tell you one thing. Try dynamic flows. Oh my God, I was crying.
Yeah, I mean, yoga is definitely hard for men because they are not used to holding themselves isometrically in most of these positions. And
on the one leg.
Yep. But yeah, it's great to do yoga and some sort of a form of strength training, being it weights or calisthenics or powerlifting, whatever it is. Just doing one is gonna very much display an imbalance. And yeah, too much of yoga is gonna make your joints. It's a bit of a gamble.
It's gonna be.
yeah, they
You're gonna
might
be
expose your
floppy
joints
to lose.
it could expose your joints to injury. Too much strength training will make those joints a little bit tighter than you probably would want them.
So what I can add about yoga. So as you mentioned, some of the yoga classes are
Boring, like yin flows and
boring.
yeah.
But if you're a person that is very stressed, it's a blessing. I've been on the both sides. I've done the yoga that you hold poses for a very long time, and it was actually hard. It wasn't the boring one. I've done the boring one when you flow slowly, you listen to the music and stuff like that. That's when I relax it the most, and I almost fall asleep at the last bit when you relax. And I've done the fast flow stuff, which was like a equivalent of me doing my 100 burpees.
I feel like we should definitely touch on those 100 burpees later.
We can touch on burpees.
Yeah, because
I had so many people like, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? But let's talk about it later. Another discipline, what would you suggest we can discuss now? Let's go Olympic weightlifting.
Oh yes. So again, me coming from a calisthenics background where I feel like the top dog and I am the shit, going to Olympic weightlifting has been again a highlight of my inadequacies in certain positions, like wide overhead hold, no stability in the shoulders, deep squat with weight over the head. I'm sucking ass, even though I can do like pistol squats, shrimp squats, dragon pistol squats, all of the funky shit. Sissy squats, like none of that stuff scares me. My my back squat is acceptable, 100 kg for a skinny bitch like I am. But yeah, put a tiny bit of a weight above my head and make me squat ass to grass, and oh boy, am I going?
It does hurt. I tried snatches after like 3 years. Not doing it. I almost fall on a lady behind me. Luckily, I managed to stop myself, but she was a little bit stupid, setting herself right behind me. But yeah, I managed. I was lucky. I wasn't carrying a lot of weight on it. So.
Oh man.
But yeah, snatches and overhead squats. Whew, they challenge you a lot.
So yeah, when it comes to challenge or getting challenged, if you do like free snatches and you focus on perfect technique, you don't have to have a lot of weight on the bar to feel like you're working your ass off.
No.
And what I also noticed after a workout, after doing 45 minutes and 45 minutes effectively, because you stretch and warm up and mobilize for like 15 minutes prior to it. The following day, even though I do like handstand push-ups, strict freestanding, none of that CrossFit bullshit, my overhead press is fucking strong. I can strict press my body weight, doing retraction, depression, and then doing clean and jerks on snatches. My upper back is in fucking bits. So it's a great way to shock the body. So you think like, yeah, I am the shit. Like I've got so much overhead pressing power. Nothing should ever surprise me. And yet, I do 40 kg snatches and maybe 60 kg clean and jerks, and I'm ruined for the following few days. My hammies are on fire, my quads are...
And that's one of the benefits, because you're using muscle in a manner that you don't usually use.
Yep.
The power and explosiveness you're getting out of it is just whew. I like to do cleans before I do squats, because of how it wakes up my whole body.
Fair.
To work your shoulders, your core, your quads, your hammies, your glutes. You can feel it. Rest 5 minutes after you finish 3 sets of cleans and then go do squats. You're gonna see large benefit of doing the explosive movements before. There's a study somewhere that the guys proved that doing the explosive moves that mimics the exercise you're doing afterwards gonna bring you loads of benefits. I don't remember what exactly goes in a study, so I'm not gonna be quoting anything, but that's the general principle out of it.
Another thing that highlights my inadequacy because of me doing calisthenics in Olympic weightlifting, because when I'm on the rings and I do my ring muscle ups or bar muscle ups or planches, all of that stuff is very internal rotation heavy. The only time that I'm doing a fraction of external rotation is towards the end of the pull-up. Mate, trying to get my elbows up with a barbell on my shoulders renders nearly impossible. And mate, my overhead mobility is fucking fantastic. Like
but that's
my handstands.
Look, that's your lat over here.
Lats and tricep.
Stopping you in.
Lats and tricep, yeah.
Yeah, they connect together over here. So
yeah, but again, a huge display of my inadequacy. And if you cannot keep your elbows up, you're gonna drop the bar.
That's it. Forget about dropping the bar. You're gonna snap your wrist. That's the other thing.
Well, I mean, again, my wrists are conditioned from handstands, so that has.
And the scratches over here. How many times I was walking like a road over here, going down.
Yeah. Well, I think my collarbones feel that the most. Yeah, that's about it.
You have to put some meat on it.
That'll be on the next
100 kg gang. Come on.
On the next episode of Gym Fuckery. If you allow me, I'll just quickly take my jumper off because I'm really, really hot.
We're gonna see some body.
Hot and bothered from looking at you, boy. Surprise! Here is another logo.
Oh.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right. What discipline left, which we didn't cover?
So let's
mobility,
talk
more or less.
We've covered that. Yeah. Let's talk about your burpees and maybe end up on the CrossFit.
All right.
Okay. So tell me, what is the philosophy and the thought process behind you doing 100 burpees like an absolute maniac every single fucking day for how many months?
That's it. I posted a video recently. I had a chat with Vas, the guy who's doing burpees with me. Like he was like, "Oh, everyone's got to need to get on burpees and stuff like that." Like I was like, "No, burpees are a bullshit exercise. You don't have you don't have benefit of squat. You don't have benefit of push-ups unless you start doing like 5 pumps or something like that. I don't do jumps because of my weight. Yeah, I would mess myself up. And a lot of people don't know how to jump and how to land from the jump. I'm one of them. And for me, it's just a mental strength, my man. That's it. I'm just training myself to don't be lazy.
Okay, and how did this affect your physical fitness, and did it benefit your further advancement in calisthenics? Because that's the only thing I'm interested in.
My handstand push-ups at some point were very good, but that was at point when I was doing more than two pump burpees, and I'm on the way to that because I'm building up after almost 6 months of doing whatever from time to time. Because when I was back in London, I was just lazy.
Why did burpees benefit your handstands? Because that's like, I would never...
My shoulder stability improved a lot. So I was doing so many. It's like on one workout, you're doing 300 push-ups, right? So the shoulder is getting a beating. So it gets stronger, not necessarily bigger, but it's getting stronger and stabilized. It's a greasing the groove approach to that.
Yeah, I suppose to a certain degree. Any other benefits that you had? How about your like cardiovascular ability? Because that's my biggest bottleneck. I've got no cardio. I've got no endurance for shit.
I don't run, but I can do burpees. But I think I could run, no problem.
Because of it?
I think yes.
And any other benefits of doing all those burpees? Because so far I'm not convinced. This is not enough to
I'm not gonna be convincing anyone to do them because, like I said, it's not an exercise for everyone. It's hard. It tires you very, very fast, and it's literally all about here. It's all about getting it done. Make it like a habit, like I did, and literally stopping myself from being lazy. Because I know how they obviously I shred some fat with it. That's like a side effect. But for the average person, starting and doing 100 might be a obstacle, not that they're not gonna be able to overcome in the beginning, and they might feel discouraged. But if they do, what I could say is just start doing them the way we started doing them. There was like 4 of us. We split on a 2 teams, and our team finished. Then the other team started doing their rep. And
so you're introducing more rest in between.
Yes. So you essentially having a rested reps. That's how they are called. And eventually, when I was doing solo, I was trying to do rapid reps. On the first try, I think I measured my time. I was at 12 minutes doing hundreds. Just go bam, 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 bam. Yeah. I went down up to, I think, 8 or 750, something like that, which was a massive improvement for me.
Sounds like you're CrossFit ready then. So
I believe so.
The main reason you decided to start doing burpees is because you didn't want to. Because
yes.
that's what it sounds
exactly.
like.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I needed something. You know, where the idea came from is this one day, it was nice and sunny last year during the first lockdown. I went to the park. It was nice, sunny day. And then suddenly it became dark and a nice summer rain came in. It reminded me days before I became a personal trainer that it doesn't matter if it was snowing, raining, hailing, whatever other disaster you can think of. I was in a park training because I wanted that muscle up. It reminded me that I lost that hunger for bettering myself.
True.
And funny enough, at that day, I was listening to the same motivational songs that I used to listen when I was starting training back after that break from MMA.
So you got like a second wind of your internal motivation to start training again.
It was just like I'm in a deep shit in my comfort zone that I need to get out of.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
Making a slow segue into the last part, which is CrossFit.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's as much as I fucking hate every second of it. I hate the idea of it. I don't agree with the philosophy and the approach and how the exercises are executed just to make the rep count, and it barely ever fucking does. Yeah, I just hate every single thing about CrossFit. I hate the fact that they butcher gymnastics. I hate the fact that they butcher Olympic weightlifting, which are 2 of the main fucking components of CrossFit, just for the sake of endurance, just for the sake of working in fatigue. But at the same time, I've completed me and Samuel, one of my clients, he's a physiotherapist, and a really good friend of mine. I want to say pressured me into, agreeing to compete against him in the CrossFit Open. But yeah, I finally gave in. I thought, screw it, I'll fucking show you how it's done, because I'm so strong with gymnastic elements. This is going to be mainly no equipment workout. I should blow his ass off. But he runs. He's like a endurance focused, where I am a 1 rep max athlete. I'm very happy with working 1 to 5 reps. This is where I shine, because it's my comfort zone. That's how I trained all along for the last 10 years, and this is where I want to be in. Like, I'm not interested in doing more than 5 reps of anything at any point in my life. And the first workout was fucking wall walks, so basically going upside down into a handstand, which I'm very fucking confident with, and then doing some skipping. Skipping, fine, whatever. Like, I'm shit at skips, but I did it anyway. And the skips were basically my bottleneck. Like, the walks were fine. I was getting slow with them. And then the skipping was just, my arms were kept lifting off the sides. I was struggling. But towards I fucking hated every minute, every second of that workout. But even though it should be within my abilities, it was body weight, and a little bit of jumping around, which I'm fucking light for, so should be great. Even though I fucking hated every single minute of it, towards the end of it, I was like, do you know what? This is the first time in a long time, besides me doing pole dance and taekwondo, that I feel out of depth and that I feel like there is a challenge and that there is the inadequacy and that I need to step my shit up. And I felt that because I'm up against something, I actually want to, push myself and go for it and do my best and see what the fuck is wrong with what my current physique or my ability is and address it. But that lasts for, as long as that endorphin rush lasts after the workout. So then the following week, when the next workout came, I was like, fuck, no, burpees onto a fucking block and alternating single arm snatches with like 22.5 kg. So I was like, why would I want to be doing that? Just because, like,
why I didn't train with Danny?
Yeah, there was a part of me. Maybe I should have done all those 10,000 burpees with Danny earlier, and now I would fucking smoke everyone's boots off. And yeah, I've got another insane athlete, client of mine, Michelle.
Oh, you cut out.
I've got an
the
insane.
Last bit you cut out.
Okay, yeah. So I've got an insane client, like insane athlete of my client. Her name is Michelle, and she's like an endurance beast. She will come train with us on a Saturday for like 3 hours, and we are doing like muscle ups, levers, fucking push-ups, dips, and then the following day or in the afternoon she'll go for a 100-mile run for like 24 hours.
Yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, she's insane. She's super
lean. She looks powerful.
Yeah, and she is like the engine is just fucking insane. And yeah, and she was like, yeah, she does CrossFit and all that stuff, and she's basically just enjoying the fact that she's being pushed out of her comfort zone. Well, if she's out of her fucking comfort zone, I cannot say how far I am, but yeah, it is definitely a different approach. And she said, how I condition myself for CrossFit is just I do a fuck ton of burpees, like do burpees until your engine picks up, and then you can deal with working under fatigue. That's it. But that's basically what it takes to, get fairly competent with being able to, meet the criteria and being able to compete against CrossFit people or people who enjoy CrossFit for some reason. And that's like completely opposite of what I like and what I want to be doing. But at the same time, it's an area in which there is a lot of space for improvement for me. So it's a huge, huge like and hate relationship. Mm-hmm. So in a way, because the workouts are tough, even though I should be predisposed to be doing them well, I still don't enjoy them. But after I've completed the first workout, I was like, you know what? I'm finally feeling like my back is against the wall, and I actually feel hungry and I want to go for it. So I will.
You know what, yeah. I noticed, you have a very high expectations of yourself because you've done something right, and now you have a point of view that you're gonna be excelling at others, where you actually go there and you are a little bit below average. Is that like, why are you expecting because you do calisthenics, or you should be good at something else? Like, no, you're good at calisthenics. You're good at this yes, area.
I am
CrossFit is something else. You go to judo, that's something else. Only because you don't taekwondo and calisthenics, that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to throw people around, effectively. Only because you have strength.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just because I feel like calisthenics has changed so much in my abilities and my physical strength. I feel like it should manifest itself more. Because I am so adept with calisthenics. Let's say this is like a triangle where calisthenics is my mm-hmm. forte, and everything else is kind of on the sidelines. Because I've grown calisthenics so much, everything else should also be fairly adequate.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not. It's a different discipline, really different approach. So yeah, always, because we didn't mention powerlifting, right? Mm. We're gonna come back to CrossFit because I have a few words about it as well. When I started powerlifting, I gave up all the calisthenics for a while because I just couldn't do it. I've done 3 months or 4 months of powerlifting. I didn't finish the whole program. The reason was because I wanted to learn the principle. the principle, the training techniques. At that time, I also been listening to a lot of proper old school strength training podcasts. I learned shitloads out of it, which benefited my calisthenics later because I started introducing 7.5 minute rests, slow circuits where I do one exercise, rest 3 minutes, do second exercise, rest 3 minutes, do fourth exercise, rest 3 minutes. That was a long ass workout. I didn't get anywhere with powerlifting because I managed to bench 100, 140 and stuff like that. Where I don't do benches at all. I managed to improve it. Lifting only 40 together was 60 kg on a bar. I improved my bench that much that I was able to bench 140. My squat, by doing 60 kg, 20 reps, I improved my squat that the same amount I was doing on a, I think I was 140. But
so hold on, is your bench equal to your back squat?
Yeah, but I don't do, because I do calisthenics, I don't do that much of the legs.
Yeah.
So yeah, pistols I have no problem. I consider my squat 140 for a few reps. I consider it a win.
Yeah,
at that
because
time,
it's not your specialty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do a pistol squat with 25 kg plate, and I've got a 100 kg back squat. But effectively, you will see me in the gym doing legs maybe like once a month I'll probably have like 50 kg on the bar and just do like 5x5 sets. That's it. It's enough to stimulate the muscles in the lower body, but not too much to stop my plunge from working, which happens anyway.
I gave up project plunge. I gave up. Like no with the size of my legs. No.
It is, mate. It's still doable, but what's the trade-off?
The amount
of effort is like for a plunge will be here. The amount of progress
for 3 second hold.
Yeah. On a straddle, if you get 3 seconds, that's gonna be like wow, amazing, and it's gonna take so much graft. That's why I haven't progressed towards Hefesto. And what else? There is another one element that I just was like, no, I'm not interested in that anymore. So I think it's Hefesto is one of those that the amount of growth, the amount of grind is not proportionally beneficial or worth it
for the reward
to pursue for the reward. Yeah. And there was another element in calisthenics that I'm just not interested in. I think Maltese. It's just, I don't, really wide plunge. I think Maltese and Hefesto is the two things that are just not worth the effort, because you could basically max out most of the things in calisthenics if you put your head down and you do the right things all the time and you address things as they go, as they appear correctly, like knowing when to deload, knowing when to start prehubbing and start rehubbing, when to stop pushing, when to take it up the notch and all that stuff. In 3 years, you should basically be able to do it all. Like all the way up to, let's say, straddle plunge for someone like you or full plunge for someone like me. Okay, I'm literally 40 or something like that less, 40 kg less heavy than you are. Yeah, but that's it. And then you get another fucking 6 years of your training that you're gonna be pretty much investing to, going from a straddle plunge to straddle plunge push-ups to full plunge to Hefestos to Maltese. The amount of progress you can make in the first year of calisthenics is insane, or first 2 years or first 3 years, compared to the last few elements that you're going to have to spend so much more time on grinding. It's just not fun anymore. And again, to me personally, I get more excited about my clients getting their first ring muscle up or bar muscle up or a dragon flag, like in a shoulder mount or whatever the goal is, the rail sit, than me being able to do a full plunge or full plunge is always nice.
But you know who cares? You know who cares that you can do plunge?
No one gives a shit.
Yeah, exactly. and don't get me wrong. Me saying that is okay because you achieved something that you really wanted, like this first muscle up within 6 months and stuff like that. It's great achievement. It's a great achievement, but like for me, it's like I don't have time. I rather to have fun. I like to go out on a weekend, have a kebab, have a whiskey.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
why.
I just want to be a human being, not a robot that
Yeah,
just goes my training.
I feel
You know
strongly.
what I mean?
I feel strongly about that as well. Like I would not sacrifice good food and being spontaneous with what I'm eating and what I want to eat, and how routine and how monotonous my training would have to be. For example, to do bodybuilding and to work on my physique. It's just.
Oh, I want to try bodybuilding, by the way. I want to hire a coach that to lead me into the bodybuilding. Obviously, I just want to experience it, right?
So-
I've done bodybuilder splits and stuff like that before because I used to train on the times of MMA with the bodybuilders, right?
Yeah.
And I experienced that a little bit, but I want to lead myself through the whole process.
Yeah, see, from my perspective, it's just the amount of grinding and sacrifice of the lifestyle quality for the sake of just getting the physique is not. It's not.
I don't care about physique. I want a program, and that's it. Training. No one's gonna tell me what I can eat, what I cannot.
Yeah.
Most of these people have eating disorders, including coaches. So please.
Well, yeah. I mean, eating disorders is the least of their problems.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. Well,
okay, let's go back to the CrossFit because we're gonna wrap it up after that. What I meant to say. You say that CrossFit is. So you said CrossFit is bad for you and stuff like in general. You see it
for you. It's just it doesn't work for me.
No, for you. You don't like it. You don't like the concept. You don't like.
Yep.
And I have to say something. I don't disagree with you.
Go on.
I like the concept. I don't like the execution, which I agree with you.
Okay.
I don't like the execution in a certain areas, but I talk with loads of coaches that told me like what you see on the internet is just a fraction of good coaches in the CrossFit boxes. If they have good coaches, what they are doing. And the one most important thing, like I don't like Zumba. Like, what's the point? You're going there. Yeah, but one thing, people enjoy it and people do something about it. Do something about themselves, and they come together. They grow the communities together. They meeting people like-minded, and so some people like I went to MMA. I met these coaches and stuff like that. Look how my life changed. Same is with you. Yeah. Is the concept that brings people together.
Yep. Yeah, regardless of what the principles are and whether you agree on them or not. Yeah, what bugs me about CrossFit is the fact that they put a really high-end exercises, very, very technical, very difficult exercises to complete, and they ruin the concept and the beauty of them, in my personal opinion, by introducing so much repetition and so little rest and so little downtime and so much fatigue that you end up completely undermining the initial principle of Olympic weightlifting and calisthenics and gymnastic elements.
No one gives you Olympic lifting on your first session.
Well, of course not. But still,
yeah, that's the thing. I spoke with the coaches. I called one box in London. They said you need to come for an assessment, and get used to it. That for the first 2 months you're gonna be doing lunges and bodyweight stuff.
Yes. I mean, it's not what they teach in CrossFit. It's more about how the challenging workouts look like. Mate, I could make a challenging CrossFit workout anyone could, with not having any idea about it. You just put, I'm just going to choose this exercise, and instead of making you, if in a program you could have 20 reps of it in 4 sets, let's just make you do 100 of that. There you go, CrossFit, and then add another cardiovascular exercise beside it. Boom, CrossFit workout. You can make a killer workout with no experience, with no ability. Anyone can do that. To make an effective workout is a different ball game. But I understand it is, if you want to test out who is the most fittest, who's got the best performance under fatigue, that's exactly what you have to do. I just don't like the idea of it. I don't find the process enjoyable. I do still get the endorphin rush towards the end, and I still feel like, fuck, okay, I would like to. I still enjoy the endorphin rush, and I still want to better myself, and I want to be able to compete on a more fair terms on it. But yeah, it's just, it was really hurtful for me to be like, okay, I've completed the first workout, it took like 14 minutes something, and then you look at the leaderboard with CrossFit Open, and there is a guy who did it in 6 minutes. His workout,
you cut out.
Okay,
you look
so
on the board, and
I look on the leaderboard. There is a guy who, like, the guy who completed it in the shortest time, in like 6 minutes something. I watched his video and I'm like, but it doesn't. You wouldn't even be able to resemble the similarity between the two workouts. Like his like, he was going up against the wall, hands were twisted out, so he already had way less travel to do. His knees were bent. Yes, he's obviously was better at skipping. Everybody's better at skipping than me, but it just felt so unfair that there is this guy who just works within this movement standards, but completely butchering the form. It's like, yeah, you're not supposed to hate the player, hate the game.
That's not the point of CrossFit.
And I fucking hate the game. That's it. Like, I got nothing against this guy. Yeah, fair enough. Whatever. That he's winning within the competition rules. But yeah. At the end of every single CrossFit workout that I did and I uploaded, I do a handstand push-up. I flick my hand at the camera. I say, "Fuck CrossFit." you can check it out on YouTube.
All right, my people. So we're gonna wrap it up because that's been an hour and 20 minutes already. Voch has a client. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to follow Voch and follow me on Instagrams and Facebooks and YouTubes of the world. Yeah.
Like
hello,
and
Cash.
Subscribe.
And let's ask the question to the viewers. What are the disciplines that you tried in the past? What were your experiences with the different disciplines?
And what was
let me know in the comments. And what was the takeaways? That's a good one as well. Do you have any questions, Wojtek?
Have I got any question to people? Yeah. Which discipline benefited you the most in your general fitness or in life? Which kind of physical activity benefited your life skills? I think that's a decent question to ask as well.
That's a good question.
I mean, I've already answered mine. Thank you very much for having me. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you, Wojtek. All right, boys and girls. See you next time.